Well, very exciting stage this one, Pat. Stage 4 of the Santos Tour Down Under. Very, very exciting. It's exciting not only because we're really getting to the business end of the race from the professionals' point of view, but this is the opportunity for the amateur riders. So people like me, not you, Pat, but people like me to get out on the course and once again really experience what Adelaide's got to offer and what a truly international cycling event has to offer. So the course today goes from here in Norwood up to Tanunda. Very, very scenic. It's 130 kilometres total, not including an 8-kilometre race neutral. So for those that are doing the full distance, 138 kilometres. So what can we expect today, Pat?
I don't think Smith Hill will break up the bunch very much, but the second king of the mountain, Mengele Hill, will be a place where we'll see some big attacks. It's an ideal opportunity to have an all-out attack.
What sort of advice would you give riders that are going in the Bupa Challenge Tour?
For the first hour of riding during the Bupa Challenge, I'd be riding well within myself, and then after Smith Hill, as we head towards Mount Pleasant and off towards Williamstown, that's when you can lift the pace on towards Mengele Hill, and from there it's you can go as hard as you like to the finish in Tanunda.
So for spectator tips, my tip is that you start here in Norwood to see the start of the event, and then you head off from here to Smith Hill so that you can get to see the first king of the mountains as the riders come through the first time. The riders have come up through from Norwood, up through Anstey Hill, which is just a bit of a grind, as you say, Pat.
Even though Anstey's Hill is quite a slog and probably more difficult than Smith Hill, which is a categorised climb, there'll be no line drawn across the top there, but still an ideal place to launch an attack, and I think it's going to be a lively day today.
Right, so the sprinters now will be coming up through Kersbrook for a sprint in the main street. And then a few kilometres out, they'll take the right turn into Smiths Hill for the first king of the mountain here on stage 4. So here we are at the top of Smith Hill, Pat, and as you said before, it's not that difficult a hill. However, there's just a couple little pinch points. Again, the riders are likely to gain some advantage coming up here.
It goes up in 3 steps. First step flattens out, descent a bit. Second step flattens out, and then the third step is quite steep. For the Bupa Challenge riders, good time to take it easy. Save your legs, and for the pro riders, I'm pretty sure there'll be a few attacks here.
And so for the spectators, once the peloton's cleared here, I recommend that you then make your way around to Mengele Hill. It'll be a fantastic second vantage point for this stage 4. Okay, Pat, here we are at the top of Mengele Hill, the second king of the mountain for this stage.
The actual climb of Mengele Hill is tough, but it's a real mongrel. The kilometre or two before you get to the bottom of Mengele Hill from Bethany, the road goes up 5-6%. And if there is a northeasterly blowing, it makes for a very hard, long climb. So an opportunity for the climbers to explode the race, which I expect them to do so. An opportunity for us to get together and work as a team and also launch an attack.
Look, at this stage of the race, the peloton will actually be overtaking some of the Bupa Challenge Tour riders themselves. So be careful of that. And for spectators, my advice to you is be really careful about leaving here. If you're here and you're looking to go to the finish, you want to get there quickly, but be extremely careful because there'll be a great number of riders on the road. It may be better for you to actually set yourself up at the finish, or really be quite happy to stay here at Mengele's and watch the pain as not only the professionals come through, but also those riders that are really, for the first time, are taking on this Category 1 challenge. For those doing the Bupa Challenge Tour this year, the top of the King of the Mountain here is not the top of the hill. There's a little more climbing to do and there's a few undulations, so you still want to have a little in the tank so that you can make a really dignified and great entrance down into Tanunda for the finish of this stage 4 of the Santos Tour Down Under. Okay, Pat, so here we are at the finish at the stage 4 in Tanunda, and there's nothing surer than if there's a breakaway group that they'll really be jockeying for position coming up this very long straight.
Team Union Save had quite a bit of success in the Barossa Valley, and let's hope we can continue that success in 2012.
And of course, for those people that are completing the Bupa Challenge Tour, there's just nothing more exhilarating. You've experienced this as a professional, Pat, but there's nothing more exhilarating than crossing that finish line, arms in the air of like, I've done it. So to those riders, congratulations on taking it on and have a great ride.